One of my 10 favorite coaches in the Big East, Sean Miller with Xavier, joins us on the Eye on College Basketball podcast. It's great to see you. You're looking good. If I dipped into your practice 3 days ago, what kind of team would I have seen? What kind of mood would you have been in? What's your team look like so far?
Well, I think our team, you could talk about three things. One, we're more experienced, across the board. Some of it is players returning from injury, Jerome Hunter and Zach Fremantle, which is a huge storyline for us a year ago. I do think we have quality depth. We're not relying on an iron five or just one or two players scoring. I think if you follow us, you'll see that on a given night, a number of guys can have big nights offensively. Some of those aren't going to be starters. And from a year ago, we certainly are better shooting. We have more firepower and the ability to score at different spots on the court, where last year that was one of our struggles.
How does having a down year last year help you as a coach or help your program? You don't want to go through it, but after you do, obviously you can draw benefits from it. What are those benefits and how will they help you in the season ahead?
Yeah, I mean, you learn a lot. You really do. You see things differently. You certainly don't want to go through that, but for us, look, when we lost both Zach Fremantle and Jerome Hunter, in addition to coming from my first year where we had a veteran group and a lot of those guys left, the hay was in the barn before we began. And in some ways, we aspired to be the best that we could be. And I know that's what you do every year, but in our case, a year ago, there are times where we were up against it. I don't look at that as being the case this year. I think we have, again, more experience, more depth. And I think we're better prepared to go through the grind of a Big East season. And Matt, look, the one thing about the Big East, man, it's a 20-game season. Mm-hmm. We play 10 at home, 10 on the road. Mm-hmm. We play everybody, and then we come to Madison Square Garden where you play game 21 or beyond. So I think that's the other part of our league that makes it so unique and dynamic.
Tell folks a little bit about Ryan Conwell, what kind of player he is, what kind of guy they should see emerge here, because obviously he's been identified as someone that should, if things go well, and I know you have other pieces on the team, but he could be one of the bigger guys to pop. That's not a known quantity in this league.
Yeah, so Ryan, comes to us from Indiana State, where he had an amazing season a year ago on a great, exciting team. He reminds me of a version of two players that I've coached at Xavier in year one and year two, and that's Sule Boom and Quincy Oliveri. And I think in Ryan's case, he's younger than both guys, really allows the game to come to him. And although he's an elite shooter and scorer, I think the thing that you'll love about him, Matt, is that he really knows how to play the game. He plays like a veteran, and certainly we're thrilled to have him.
I talked to Patino about this a little while ago. How did Tony Bennett's retirement land with you? You're obviously, you're in the throes of a renaissance with Xavier, but Tony, well respected around the profession. When a coach of that stature opts to retire, I don't know. Different coaches probably have different reactions and reflect on their own careers. How did it land with you?
Yeah, so Tony and I are the same age. We're in the same class. His dad's a college coach. My dad, a high school coach. We have a lot of similarities. We're the same age. He became the head coach at Virginia the same spring that I became the head coach at Arizona.
2009.
All those things, and then obviously the immense respect that I have for him, not only as a coach, but as a person. You see somebody step away at this point, it makes you reflect on a couple of different things. But I do think that everyone is different. All of us are. Where I'm at is, like you said, at a different space with a new challenge at a place that I know very well, but in some ways beginning of the climb. So I'm excited to be coaching. And clearly, I think the one thing that stands out is it's a really unique time to be in college sports. And I do think things will settle in the next couple of years.
Yeah, you've got confidence in that. And what is bringing you, aside from I think the relationships with your players, I think that's the biggest thing, the most obvious thing. But in addition to that, Sean, as you gear up here for year 3 with Xavier? Mm-hmm. Time is flying. What is bringing you the most joy as a coach at this stage of your life?
Watching players like Quincy Oliveri walk in the door from Rice University and wondering how he'll do in the Big East and if we can bring to life what he hopes happens in the 1 year he's with us, and then turn the TV on, 48 hours ago and see him in a Laker uniform where he's made the Los Angeles Lakers. There's no better feeling. I can't imagine too many better feelings like in a profession or in life in general than see these young people come into your program with these goals and dreams and watch a version of it come true for them. It's inspiring. It keeps you going. And it's really what it's all about. If that's the core of it all, then I think some of the things that you don't like pale in comparison.
Last question for you. In your facility, at your practices, what is the big picture message, if you have one, that you're kind of hammering home to the team? Because obviously everyone knows how fiery you are as a competitor. That goes for your entire staff, and you're simply not going to tolerate having another season. Even when you said the hay was in the barn and all that last season, you're not going to stand for having a season that would be repeated in year 3. So what have you been getting across to your team to ensure that you guys can perform at maximum potential?
Really 2 things. One is just the process. It's something that I know we preach a lot about as coaches, but some processes are better than others. Process in terms of an individual player. You have these goals and dreams, and everybody wants to get to March and become a part of the tournament. But to get there, it's not easy. And a lot of times what allows you to get there is just that continued daily, weekly, everyday focus on what's important, the task at hand. I think that's one. And number 2, Matt, we have to be a better defensive team this season at Xavier. Like, stingy or harder to score on, more consistent. And I think that experience and depth have really, I think, helped allow that to be the possibility. We lost one of our incoming transfers, Lassina Traore, to a knee injury, which hurts us. I mean, he was a 10 rebound a game player. That's what he averaged at Long Beach, and he was off to a really good start. So we still have to overcome that, but I do think we can.
Look forward to seeing it, Sean. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you.